my name is Miss Pam, and I'm from Building Blocks Child Development Center here in Spencer, West Virginia. And I have a book and a science project to do with you today. First of all, we're going to do a little bit of a science project. Okay? So what I have here is I have a piece of white paper. And let me get my markers here. We need some gray markers and, well, I guess we'll try maybe a purple marker. That way it's easier to see. Okay? So it's winter, and we know that what happens in the winter, everything gets a little bit colder. The days get shorter, and it gets colder outside, and some things happen. Like this morning when I woke up, there was these little white things flying around in the air outside my house. Like, what in the world is that? It's snow. It's snowing again today. Just a little bit. So we're going to talk about some snow. Okay? So over here on my piece of white paper, we're going to draw a little gray cloud. Alright, and here's our little gray cloud. And he's up in the sky. And inside this little teeny tiny gray cloud, there's all these little itty bitty pieces of water. Okay? They're little teeny tiny drops of water. Alright? Bunches and bunches and bunches and bunches and bunches of them. Okay? And then as you can see, I'm putting more and more dots in my cloud. The more dots I have, the darker my cloud gets. Okay? Now I could sit here and I could make lots of dots and dots and dots and dots. But you see what I'm saying right down here. Okay? So right down here on the bottom, you can see that we're getting darker and darker and darker and darker and darker and darker. And some of those little dots are getting to be bigger dots. Look at that. They're getting closer together and they're getting to be bigger dots. Oh, and there comes one out of the sky. Oh, and another one, 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 and another one. So all these little dots get together, okay, and they make the bigger dots. And when the bigger dots get so big, that's when they fall out of the sky, okay? So when they fall out of the sky, it depends on what kind of day it is. Now, if it's a summery day, these fall out as raindrops. But if it's a wintry day, these kind of things fall out as little pieces of ice. Or, and I'm going to do it in purple so you can see what they are, okay? Snowflakes. So we're just going to draw us a simple snowflake right here. Alright. And all these little snowflakes fall out of the sky. Alright. Now, but you can see my snowflakes. My snowflakes look a lot alike. Okay, they're a tad bit different, but they're pretty similar. Every single snowflake that falls out of a cloud is different. No two snowflakes are alike. So this snowflake over here might look like this. Okay, and there's even some snowflakes that look like the letter I that people have seen. So here comes all these different snowflakes falling out of the sky. And then they get down here to the ground. And then we get more snowflakes and more snowflakes and more snowflakes. And we get all these snowflakes, and then guess what? Then our ground is covered in snow. Alright, so we start out here in the gray cloud, and our little teeny tiny spots of water get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger until they fall out of the clouds. And they make snowflakes, and the snowflakes fall all the way down to the ground. Now, I didn't draw all kinds of snowflakes. I just made little dots down there. So, like I said, we could be sitting here all morning long and make snowflakes because they're all different. So, here we go. Cloud, drops, bigger drops, snowflake, snow. All right. So, now that we know it was snow, you think I could get, oh, wait a minute. My coffee cup is very cold. I don't think there's coffee in my coffee cup. You know what that is? I actually brought a snowball. I went outside my house this morning, and it's very cold. I made a snowball, and there he is. All right. Oh, and he is so cold, and I squeezed him down really, really good, and he's a hard, hard snowball. So, for our science, we're going to do a little bit of a science experiment. I'm just going to take a piece of my snowball. Okay, you see him in my little bag right there? I'll switch over to this camera. You see my snowflake in my bag? Or my snowball? I'm just going to put a little snowball in my bag. Because if I put a big snowball in my bag, I might have a problem here in a little bit. So we're going to see what happens. Alright? So, I'm going to take my snowball and I'm going to put it in my pocket down here. And ooh, that's cold. And then we are going to read a story. Alright? Our book is called The Snowy Day by Ezra Jack Keats. And this is one of my favorites. One winter morning, Peter woke up and looked out the window. Snow had fallen during the night. It covered everything as far as he could see. After breakfast, he put on his snowsuit and ran outside. The snow was piled up very high along the street to make a path for walking. Crunch, crunch, crunch. His feet sank into the snow. He walked with his toes pointing out like this. And he walked with his toes pointing in like this. You see all these little tracks? He made straight tracks, and then he went with his toes pointing out. And then with his toes pointing in. Then he dragged his feet slowly to make tracks. And there's his tracks. And he found something sticking out of the snow that made a new track. You see his new track? We had 2. 1, 2, and now we have 3. 1, 2, 3. It was a stick. A stick that was just right for smacking a snow-covered tree. Down fell the snow, plop, on top of Peter's head. He thought it would be fun to join the big boys in their snowball fight, but he knew he wasn't old enough. Not yet. So he made a smiling snowman, and there it is. And he made angels. He pretended he was a mountain climber, and he climbed a great, big, tall, heaping mountain of snow and slid all the way down. He picked up a handful of snow and another and still another, and he packed it round and firm and put the snowball in his pocket for tomorrow. Then he went into his warm house. He told his mother all about his adventures while she took off his wet socks. And he thought and thought and thought about them. Getting him a nice warm bath because he was probably cold from being outside. Before he got into bed, he looked in his pocket, and his pocket was empty. The snowball wasn't there, and he felt very sad. While he slept, he dreamed that the sun had melted all the snow away. But when he woke up, his dream was gone, and the snow was still everywhere, and new snow was falling. After breakfast, he called to his friend from across the hall, and they went out together into the deep, deep snow. The end. Now, wait a minute. Peter put that snowball into his pocket, and then it wasn't there. Now, wait a minute. I put a snowball in my pocket. I hope my snowball's still there. Well, it's not really my snowball anymore. What happened? Look at my snowball. Well, it's not a snowball anymore. Look at that. It just looks like some pieces of ice and some water in my pocket. What could have happened to my snowball? You know what happened? Same thing happened to my snowball that happened to Peter's snowball. When things are cold and you want snow to stay, then it has to stay cold outside. When things warm up, the snow melts away. like in my hands, I can hold my bag here that has my little bit of ice in it. I hold it in my nice warm hands for a little bit, and guess what happens? Now my ice cubes are gone. It's all gone, and the only thing that's left is the little bit of water. Okay? Now, do you think if I froze it back, it'd look like a snowball? Nope. That actually looked like an ice cube. Because it takes something special to make snow. The snow has to have, remember I started out as little itty bitty teeny tiny drops of water. And then it has to freeze to become a snowflake. And what about that coffee cup? My snowball and my coffee cup? Now my coffee cups, this is called an insulated cup. And an insulated cup, if you pour hot coffee in it, or hot tea, or hot cider, or hot chocolate, it'll keep it hot. But if you put something cold in this cup, then it's going to do the same thing. It's going to keep it cold. So do you think I still have a snowball in my cup? Let's find out. Let me see. I'm going to get my lid here just in case I got a dribble. Oh, let me move my book. We don't get our books wet. Let me see if I can pour it out. What happened? Nothing's coming out. No water's coming out. No snowball's coming out. You know what? I think it's stuck. There it is. And see? No water. My cup is an insulated cup. And it has a pocket of air between the outside cup and the inside cup. And that is what keeps my snowball frozen. And if I keep my lid on there, I just might get to take my snowball home with me. What do you think? I think I got enough snow at my house. I really don't need another snowball, but I could. So, you could go outside today if there's snow at your house. Make sure you wear your boots, and make sure you wear a warm coat and warm jacket or warm pants and some warm boots and a scarf for your head and some mittens for your fingers. Okay? Got to make sure that we keep our bodies warm. When we go outside and it's too cold outside and our bodies get really, really cold, then that can hurt our bodies, and we don't want to do that. It can cause frostbite, make your fingers get all tingly, and we don't need that. So make sure if you go outside, you wear all your proper clothes. All right. Well, that's it for me today. I hope you had fun. I hope you learned a little bit about snow and what happens if you put it in your pocket. I'm glad I put my snowball in a plastic bag, or my pocket would have been wet, just like Peter's. All right. Well, I'll see you next time. Bye.